calves have got to be, hands down, one of the hardest muscles on your body to grow. They're stubbornly resistant to exercise because they're constantly being exercised. This is why it's so difficult for you to build bigger calves. You're always working them from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. You use your calves to help you get in and out of bed. You use them when you walk around, go up and down stairs, every time you sit down or stand up, every time you step on the gas pedal or hit the brakes. You use them to power you up even when you're just standing still. With all this work you put them through day in and day out, it should come as no surprise that their response to training is minimal to zilch, since they are constantly being stimulated by the same repetitive motions through the same repetitive daily tasks. So the secret to actually transforming your legs from twigs into trunks is to avoid putting them through these same repetitive motions when you train them. Something that most guys fail to do, which is why most guys have chicken leg calves. Just think about it. This is the motion that is stimulating your calves hundreds and thousands of times per day. Your foot pressing off of the ground. You're working your calves against gravity to power yourself through space. The mistake that most guys make in their training is replicating that same exact environment when they work their calves, where the weight their calves are pushing is located directly above them, and their calf stimulation is being produced by pushing their own weight off of the ground, just like that. They'll do standing calf raises, seated calf raises, donkey calf raises, all of which are completely identical to the same exact repetitive motion you're already doing all throughout the day. The force of gravity is coming from the same direction, your calf stimulation is being directed from the same position, and yet guys are still somehow surprised when their calves don't grow. Your calves aren't going to grow from these types of exercises because they are working your calves in a way that they are already being worked all throughout the day. Your calves are already way too familiar and way too accustomed to that specific movement because you've been putting them through that exact motion millions of times already over the course of your entire life, where your calf is stimulated by pushing weight up off of the ground. What you need to do in order to turn your calves from sticks into bricks is to simply just invert the force of gravity and direction of tension that is being placed on your calves. So instead of having the point of stimulation occur from down here, have it occur from up here. Instead of being in a position where you push weight up, put yourself in a position where you're pushing weight down. A simple tweak in direction of tension is enough to shock your calves into growing into cows. On top of that, you can't just focus on the extension aspect of working your calves. This is another monumental mistake that nearly all guys make in the gym. And if you've taken my Zero to Hero Blueprint transformation course and learned my full hero workout, you already know this. But in case you haven't, in order to truly build yourself a complete set of monster calves, you need to do extension type exercises and flexion type exercises. Movements that extend your calves as well as movements that flex your calves. Just think about it. Just think about how you train to get bigger arms. You don't just constantly do dumbbell and barbell curls and all of this work on your biceps and expect your whole arm to grow, do you? Of course not. You'd be a fool not to train your triceps too. Just half-assing it and working one side of your arm is going to get you half-assed, one-sided results. The same concept applies for your legs, as well as the rest of your body. Why would you ever just work one side of a muscle you're trying to grow? I can honestly say that I've only seen a very, very small number of guys ever do calf flex exercises in the gym. And that very small number of guys are the only group of guys I've ever seen with incredibly impressive calves. If you want to be one of them, here's how you need to train your calves. Inverted calf extensions, seated calf extensions, seated calf flexes, standing calf flexes. And as always, it's not about how much you lift, it's about how you lift. 3 sets of 6 to 12 slow and concentrated reps to failure for each exercise is plenty sufficient. It's literally that simple. All it takes to stimulate some growth in your calves is taking that repetitive motion you are constantly doing and inverting it in a different direction in order to apply stress and tension in a new way. It makes that familiar workload your calves are so used to just unfamiliar enough to shock them into new muscle growth. Add on the fact that instead of just extending, you're also flexing your calves and shocking them even further into unfamiliar territory for even more muscle growth. This 1-2 punch is gonna knock your calves out of their stubborn stilt leg state and beat them into your submission to grow into giant gargantuans. I hope you enjoyed this exclusive lesson taken directly from my upcoming training course, Zero to Hero, the Muscle Building Blueprint for Skinny Guys. Again, if you haven't signed up for my priority waitlist, make sure you click the link on your screen and add yourself to my email list right now before we run out of spaces. It literally takes just a few seconds. So do that right now, and I will see you in the next training video.